Welcome back, friends. In this lecture, we will discuss about aggregate functions in SQL. So there are many aggregate functions in SQL. So if you are interested to explore more aggregate functions, so you can use SQL documentation, which is available in SQL website. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss some 5 standard built-in aggregate functions. So actually, the function will perform some task. So aggregate function in the sense it will take a collection of values as input and return a single value. The collection means it can be a set or multi-set. So here we will discuss some 5 standard built-in aggregate functions such as average, minimum, maximum, total, and count. So average is mentioned with the keyword AVG, minimum is mentioned with the keyword min, max is mentioned with the keyword max, total is mentioned with the keyword sum, and count is mentioned with the keyword count. So the input to sum and average must be a collection of numbers, but the other operators can operate on collections of non-numeric data types such as strings as well. So in order to perform these aggregate functions, first we need to create tables. So I am going to create a new table. The name of the table will be employee. So after that, I'm going to insert the values in the table. For those values, we can perform aggregate functions in order to retrieve some data from that particular table. Okay. So in order to create a table, so we need the create table query. Before that, we have to use the existing database. Either you can create a new database or you can use the existing database. So I'm going to use the existing database. So an already created existing database is Kausigan 1. So I'm going to query use database name, that is use Kausigan 1. So I'm going to use this database in order to create a new table. You can see here the table, the use database command is working properly. Now we will going for creating a table. Create table, then table name. So the table name will be employee. So then I want to give the fields, the attributes. So I'm giving the attributes employee ID. So this will be int data type. Then the next is name data type. Name data type will be having the character string, that is varchar. I'm giving the size of the varchar as 10. And job title is also a string. I'm giving the string data type as varchar of type of size 10. Then I'm giving another one field as salary. The data type for salary will be int. Then close the bracket. At the end, we will be having a semicolon in order to terminate the query. Now just run this query. So now a table employee has been created under the database Kausigan 1. So now what we are going to do is we are going to insert the values into the table. So insert into. So the query for inserting is, you can see here from the previous thing, insert into table name, then values. Insert into table name. So name of the table is employee, then values of, so how many fields are there? Employee ID, name, job title, and salary. So I'm giving the employee ID as 100 and name as, so this could be a string. So I'm giving name as Rohit, the size of 5. And another one field is job title is I'm mentioning as engineer. So this is also a string. So it should be mentioned with the apostrophe. Then I'm mentioning a salary as 1 lakh. So that is an integer. So just close this. If I want to enter some other person's value, so the next employee ID is, so I'm mentioning as 101, and the name of the employee is Subha. This is also a string. So I'm mentioning with the apostrophe. Then the job title is professor, and I'm mentioning with the apostrophe because this is a string. Then her salary is 50,000. I'm mentioning it as 50,000. So this is not a string. So just close this. And I want to include another one field, another one value. So employee ID I'm mentioning as 102, and I'm mentioning the name of the employee as um Ramu. So actually now Ramu is a string. So I'm mentioning with the apostrophe, then mention with the comma, then salary for Ramu is job title for Ramu is I'm mentioning he's an electrician. So this is also a string. So mention with the apostrophe. Electrician. So I am deleting this entirely and I'm creating a new thing. So electrician, and his salary is, I'm mentioning it as 25,000. Okay. So now mention with the semicolon. So these are the three values I'm going to insert into the table employee. Just run this query. So it's create an error because you check what is an error. The column count does not match the value count at row 3. So you see here. So actually we have missed one comma here. That's why it is mentioning the error. Okay. And this is not required for the integer data type. Only for the string data type, we require the apostrophe. Now again, so the data you see here, what is the data too long for column job title at row 3? Because you see here, the character size of the job title is 10, but you can see the electrician exceeds 10. Okay. So what it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So one person, one letter is exceeding. So I'm just mentioning it as another one thing. So I'm mentioning it as doctor. Rob, who's a doctor. So his salary will be, I'm mentioning as uh, 75,000. Okay. Close this. Mention with the semicolon. Okay. So the doctor is a string. So mention it with the apostrophe, then comma 75,000, then semicolon. So why I'm making some misspelled words or means. So we will be encountering various types of error. You should be aware what are all the errors are possible while performing the query. In order to explore the errors, I am mentioning those things. Okay. So just select this query, run this query. Now you see here the value is the query has been run properly. Now you check the table all the values are inserted or not, give the command as select star from table name, select star from table name. So what is the table name? So the table name will be select star from employee. So just select this query, run this. So you can see here. So the employee table has four fields, that is employee ID, name, job title, salary, and employee ID is 100. Name is Rohit, and job title is engineer, and salary is 1 lakh. For the employee ID 100, for 101, 102, it will be having the respective details. Okay. Now we are going to perform the aggregate functions. So the first aggregate function what we are going to perform is we are going to perform the count aggregate functions. Okay. So we are going to count how many employees are there in the employee table. Okay. So here there are only three, so it will be displaying three easily. But for in the real world, you will be having many data in your database. Then there may be more than 1 lakh data in your database. So in order to identify the count of the particular company's employees means you can use this particular query. So select count of star from table name. So table name is employee. So make it a semicolon. Now just run this. So it will display the count as 3. We know that there are 3 employees. So you can see here the title of the result has been mentioned with count of star. So in order to in order to mention the title of the count as number of employees, we can mention with this query select same thing count of star from. So before going to from the table name, you have to mention the title. I want to mention it as um, number of employees. Number of employees from the table name, that is employee. Now you can see here, just select this, run this query. Now you see here the title has been changed as number of employees. Okay. So this is how we can perform the count aggregate